Welcome everyone, my name's Sylph, and this is my attempt to beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon White with only Fighting-type Pokemon. The full rule set is listed down below, but put simply, only the first Fighting-type encounter in each route or area can be caught. If a Pokemon faints, it must be permanently boxed. No items except held items in battle. Party Pokemon levels are limited to the next gym leader or the final league member's ace. And finally, the battle mode must be put on set at all times. Pokemon Black and White, in addition to being some of my favorite games of all time, are also known for being quite challenging when it comes to hardcore Nuzlockes. With that being said, the fighting type is overall pretty decent, although with these games only featuring Gen 5 Pokemon, we do get to use some mons that we've never used before, but the encounters are a bit limited, with these fully evolved fighting Pokemon being available to us at different points in the game. Because our rules don't permit us to use Legendaries or Mythicals, that's going to cut off Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, and Keldeo as viable encounters. Some really cool Pokemon open to us, but only 6 in total. This could get scary. Today's video was made possible by Manscaped. Gentlemen, when it comes to grooming, things can be quite tricky, but very necessary. Trust me, I've been there. Feeling your best requires looking at your best, which is why my friends at Manscaped are hooking you up with all the right tools and formulations designed specifically for men. They sent me over their Perfect Package 4.0 box, which is kind of an all-in-one grooming and hygiene kit to keep your package fresh and clean. First things first, we've got the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, and this thing is a beast. It's an electric trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology to reduce nicks on the most sensitive regions of your body, and even has an LED light so you can see what you're doing, along with 90 minutes of use with a full charge. Want to use it in the shower? You're all good to do so, as this thing is waterproof, and hey, that makes for easy cleanup too. Want to travel with it? Travel lock activated. Click 3 times and you're on your way. Also included are the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant for all-day protection and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray with cooling aloe vera for some refreshment. The goodies don't end there, as Manscaped also included a disposable shaving mat called the Magic Mat with some funny content on it. For a limited time, when you buy the Perfect Package 4.0 kit, you'll also get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and the Manscaped Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. Trust me, these things are comfortable. Start the new year off right and head to manscaped.com to get 20% off plus free international shipping and the free 2 gifts when you use promo code SYLPH at checkout. Manscaped, the perfect tools for your family jewels. The opening of Black and White was hugely surprising back when this game came out, partly for its massive graphical upgrade over Diamond and Pearl, but also because it features the fastest burglary of all time. I mean, just watch this.
Oh, she's stealing! She's stealing!
Turns out the Unova region is too poor to afford a proper Pokemon lab, so we've got to get our starter from Amazon and open it up in our room. Thankfully, this is one of those rare times that we actually get to keep our starter for the run, Tepig, who will evolve into a fighting type shortly. This strange girl in our house then challenges us to battle, and we actually got a critical hit on our very first move in the entire game. Surely that bodes well for our run, am I right? Tepig ends up having a jolly nature too, which is plus speed and minus special attack, pretty much perfect to be honest. In this game, our mom is finally a nice one, offering to clean our room after the mess that we made, and oh, never mind. She still wants us to get the f out of our house. Okay, what the hell is with all the parents in these games? No wonder all the kids leave permanently at age 10. I would too. When given the opportunity, I decided to nickname Tepig Khabib. Come on, it's the closest thing. It's not like we can get a Beartic or Ursaring here. If I use the town map, I'll always know where I am. Sharon out here with the IQ of an Alakazam. We finally set out on our adventure and... oh, come on, Juniper. We walked like 7 steps since you saw us. We'll be fine. Not wanting to leave us alone, she follows us into the Pokemon Center. Granted, she does use those big professor bucks to get us some Pokeballs, so I guess we can't complain. Just outside, there's some sort of authoritarian cult rally going on, so yeah, that's a thing. After a manageable battle against Bianca, where Khabib was brought to about a 3rd health, we arrive in Striaton City, the location of the first gym. Before that, we have to take on Charon at the trainer school though, and I was a bit scared of this battle since he does have an Oshawott with Water Gun of all things, but he ended up just repeatedly using Tail Whip and consequently only getting 1 Water Gun off, and I was like, what an idiot. But then I realized, oh, he has a second Pokemon now. Our second tackle just barely didn't take it out either. With us at just 9 HP, it hit us with Scratch again, but we survived on just 2 HP before taking it out. Alright, that's a bit too much suspense for this early in game, although he does give us some much needed Oran Berries for winning. It's time for the first gym, the Striaton gym, and the trainers in here are quite easy, only having things like Lillipup. The gym leaders, though, well, that's a problem. Because we picked Tepig, it's going to be Crest that we have to face, and, well, if I'm honest, I don't know how we beat this team with just a Tepig, but we'll give it a go. He leads with a Lillipup, and admittedly, I came in woefully unprepared. I used Tackle as he uses Work Up to raise his attack, and unfortunately we're just out of range of a 3-hit KO with him hitting us hard with Bite down to 16 HP before our berry activates. Then its pickup ability causes it to randomly find an Oran Berry? What? I have never seen such a thing, plus Cerebi told me that he had Vital Spirit, so I guess I'm sticking with Bulbapedia from now on. As a next attack also fails to take it out, and then he potions it, and we end up with just 13 HP in the end before his Panpour then comes out. He goes for Work Up, I hit one Tackle, and then he obliterates us instantly with Water Gun. Alrighty then. As per Nuzlocke rules, we officially lost the run and have to wipe, so I'll see you when I get back here. Alright, a long game intro later and I come back, this time with hopefully a better Khabib, and I also made sure to level up to higher level 14. I go for Defense Curl right off the bat this time, then Bite does little to us, then I use Tail Whip so we can get a 2 or 3 hit KO this time as he uses Work Up. Unfortunately, we just barely don't 2-hit KO, but another 2 from there after he potions do the job. With us at over half, and we level up this time, meaning we can learn Flame Charge halfway through the battle. Keep in mind in Hardcore Nuzlocke you can level up mid-battle, you just have to be at or below the level cap when the battle starts. Panpour comes out and I use Tail Whip to lower its defense, but it immediately goes for Water Gun to bring us to 10 HP. It did do 18 HP damage though, so I'm like, oh my god, we can survive another after our Oran Berry, and I hit it with Tackle, and we get a crit. Oh man. I go for Flame Charge here since I know he'll hit us to activate our Blaze ability and we should have enough power, but nope. He gets a crit on his next Water Gun to take us down. How in the world? Our third attempt netted us a Tepig with slightly higher HP, and we're able to take down Lillipup with 30 HP remaining after level up without our berry being used. Panpour then hits us with Water Gun, we use Tail Whip, and this time I decide to go for Flame Charge right away, predicting the hit into Blaze territory. It works, so our speed also increases, but we do just less than half. Oh no. We now outspeed, which was my whole strategy, but he barely survives in the red and takes us down. Ouch. Attempt number 4, and I am not messing around. This time we have a Bashful Tepig, which is neutral, and hopefully that will help a little bit. We're able to take down Lillipup in 2 hits since I guess we have better attack IVs this time, although we did get hit hard to even worse health than last time. I used the same strategy on his Panpour, but this time he just went for Work Up first turn, and the next as well, and the next, so a final attack takes him down. What the hell? It all came down to some weird-ass AI choices. We had a solid strategy to be honest, but it was just off in our third attempt, but hey, I'll take the win because that is a brutal battle to go in with just a Tepig. In the Dream Yard, this Munna is getting bullied by Team Plasma and even gets roundhouse kicked to the jaw, and only after the bullies leave does Daddy Musharna decide to show up. Yeah, nice one, buddy. About the same parenting skills as Red's dad. Up ahead at the nursery, this woman says, if you go into the playground, you'll be pestered into battling. And I was like, ah, yeah, annoying kids and whatnot. But then this woman battles us. Pfft, are you gonna take that from your co-worker of all people? Another successful Charon battle, and we get our first evolution as Khabib evolves into a Pig Knight, giving us our first official fighting type of the run. I was also really excited up ahead as we found the Thief TM, but apparently the Pokemon we need to use it on to get the Black Belt item to increase the power of fighting moves only hold it in a post-game area, but they don't hold it in the main game. What the f***? Our journey brings us to Nacrene City where the second gym is. Before that, I make sure to annoy this girl in one of the houses until she gives us the charcoal item to raise our fire type moves, and I also head west of the city which is accessible and it leads to the outskirts of the Pinwheel Forest. Thankfully, even though the forest itself is cut off, we can get our next encounter here, although it's going to be one of 2 Pokemon, Timber or Throw. And we found a Timber. A little unfortunate since our next Throw location is later than the next Timber location, but we can't complain with how limited things have been so far. We catch it successfully in a vibrant pink heel ball, might I add. Figured it fit the whole Macho Man aesthetic. And name him Overeem. And Overeem has a lonely nature plus attack and minus defense, which is pretty good. And the Guts ability to power up its attack if it has a status condition. Honestly, it also gets Sheer Force, so we couldn't have really gone wrong. The fighting types here also allow us to train for some attack EVs, which is really nice. Also, I was exploring around and accidentally clicked while running into this rock, and a text box popped up to smash it. Challenge rock? And it gave us a star piece? What in the world? I don't think I ever knew that this was a thing, but thank you, Mr. Rockman. Before the gym, we're challenged to battle by the mysterious N, who wants to see things no one can see.
Okay.
His team is a bit scary for us as he leads with a P-Dove and I send out Overeem. Amazingly, Overeem did have Rock Throw when we got him, so it's a 2-hit KO as P-Dove just got off 1 Leer to lower our defense. Timpole comes out next, which is why I sent in Overeem first, but he hits a Confuse Ray and we hit ourselves. Bubble Beam then brings us low and drops our speed, but we land a low kick. I can't send Khabib in while he still has this much health, so I go for low kick again, and his Bubble Beam brings us to just 3 HP before we land it. I can now switch in Khabib, who gets hit for a third, then outspeeds and KOs him with Tackle. His final Pokemon is Timber, and thankfully it's only able to bring us to 23 HP before 2 Flame Charges take him down. Whew. Good thing I kept Overeem in there when I did, although it was a bit risky. It's time for the second gym leader, Lenora, a normal type trainer, which is a pretty good thing for us. She leads with a Herdier with Intimidate though, which lowers Overeem's attack. Takedown then does way more than I thought, bringing us below half, but our Oranberry helps us get off a Tail Whip, then we get brought to just 2 HP before Low Kick takes him down. Holy, that was way closer than I thought it would be. Her final Pokemon is Watchog, and I'm forced to switch, so in comes Khabib as he gets hit by Crunch. Watchog then outspeeds us and lands a Hypnosis, but I had put a Chesto Berry on, so we wake up, land a Flame Charge to increase our speed, which then allows us to outspeed on the next turn and pummel her with Arm Thrust, which hits 3 times for the win. Alright, that was much better played than the first gym. Up ahead, I realized I forgot to pick up the Rock Smash TM, so I do that before entering Pinwheel Forest. This is a long grind of Plasma Grunts, and along the way we found the Big Root item, which should be quite useful later, before finally taking back what is rightfully ours near the end, the Dragon Skull. That poor Dragonite. One of the coolest visual displays of what Pokemon on the DS is capable of is up next, the Sky Arrow Bridge, which I remember being blown away by back in the day, which leads directly to Castelia City, a place which was quite revolutionary as well. We can get a few great items here, such as the Experience Share, which will be helpful in remaining under the level cap, and we also meet Mr. Locke, who says, "I'm a magical clown who can do anything. I'll see you again, I'm sure." Creepy, but it turns out he was intended to give you a TM after you gave him an event item, which they never ended up releasing. Ever. Poor guy, his singular purpose never came to fruition. I also attended a party with a bunch of international people, and Germans, why do you do this? Because we've seen 25 Pokemon, we can also pick up the Eviolite too, which boosts the defenses of non-fully evolved Pokemon, an incredible thing indeed. As it turns out, the XP share was very much necessary, as we can put it on one of our HM Pokemon to prevent Khabib from overleveling, who was already at the level cap at this point. One of the pieces of dialogue I never fully appreciated is when one of the 7 sages decided to put a Team Plasma hideout here because I thought it would be amusing to prepare a hideout right in front of a Pokemon gym, but we were detected more quickly than I imagined. To which Getsus just says, "Indeed." It's time for the Castelia gym, a bug-type gym, and unfortunately Khabib is too high of a level, so I had to go through the trainers with just Overeem, although Rock Throw was definitely helpful in that regard. In no time, we reach the 3rd gym leader, Berg, who I'm not feeling too worried about as his team is quite weak to ours. He leads with a Whirlipede and I lead with Overeem. He just goes for Screech and Rock Throw does just under half. I hit him again, and amazingly we get a higher roll to take him out. Well, that works. In comes Leavanny next, and this thing can do some damage, so I switch in Khabib to tank Razor Leaf. It does have a higher critical hit ratio, but thankfully neither hit gets one as we can slam it with a 4 times super effective, same type attack bonus, or stab flame charge for the 1-hit KO. Nice. His final Pokemon is Dwebble, and playing it safe, I switch back into Overeem to tank Smackdown. What happened next was insane, as Rock Throw was a great option until he started using Sand Attack, which lowered our accuracy. We brought him into the red, but then he Hyper Potioned, and in the end it was a slugfest with us missing like crazy, him Hyper Potioning again, and us being brought to just 10 HP by a crit before we finally KO'd him. Alright, that was also much closer than I thought it would be. At the Route 4 gate, we have a battle with Bianca, so I make sure to level up a bit, and in the process, Overeem learns 70 power Chip Away and evolves into a beastly looking Girder. Bianca's team looks terrifying at this point, but we do have a little leeway with the levels, so we're a bit higher leveled than her. She leads with a Herdier with Intimidate, and I send out Overeem with the Eviolite attached. We outspeed with Low Kick, but it doesn't KO due to her attack drop, but thankfully she just goes for a bogus move and gets knocked out on the next turn. In comes Muna next, which is scary with Psybeam, but now we have Chip Away for good neutral damage at least, although she just went for Imprison, so 2 attacks did her in. Alrighty then. Her final Pokemon is also a scary one, Panpour, but thankfully since Overeem didn't get hit by a Psybeam, we can switch him back in and take it out, taking minimal damage in the process. That could have been way scarier, but she kinda played pretty dumb, not gonna lie. Up ahead in the Route 4 desert, we can finally get a new encounter, this time a Scraggy, who we catch and nickname Misha. Misha has a serious, neutral nature and has the Moxie ability to increase her attack every time she gets a KO. With its low speed, it's probably not quite as good as Intimidate, but still works. In one of the houses here, we can also pick up the Dig TM, which should be pretty useful, and the Desert Resort lands us the Black Glasses, the perfect item for our new catch who is part Dark type, and we can also get the Soft Sand to boost ground moves. Come to think of it, we picked up the Black Glasses from the Soft Sand, and the Soft Sand from the man with the Black Glasses. What the f***? Questioning the nature of reality, we arrive in Nimbasa City, the land of hedonism and bullying elderly men. Ooh, TMs for sale. Too bad they're the same price everything is in real-world Vegas. We then get swindled by Bianca, who forces us into trying this Pokestar studio, the fashion show nonsense, and alright, fine, whatever. How is this even allowed? Well, at least there's probably some nice artistic and creative people. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Ugh. Thanks for ruining this word for me, internet. In one of the houses we get the Strength HM, and well, if there was ever a team built for using a move called Strength, it's gotta be this one. One extremely painstakingly awkward Ferris wheel ride later, and N challenges us to battle again. I have one major worry about his team in particular, but he leads with a Sandile, and after it just uses Embargo, our newly caught Misha slams it in one hit with Brick Break, which also activates our Moxie ability, and then sends out his own Scraggy, which gets eviscerated immediately. In comes the big threat, Sigilyph, who is like designed against fighting types with both Psychic and Flying, but Misha is part Dark, we just have to hope he doesn't get a crit on Air Cutter. And thankfully, no crit, and we can slam it with a stab, super effective, Black Glasses boosted feint attack for the KO. His final Pokemon is Darumaka, so I switch in Khabib to resist the Fire Punch and hit it with Arm Thrust, but it does just under half and he slams us with Facade, which does huge damage. From here, I could risk it and go for Arm Thrust, but if we only hit twice, we're dead, so I'm forced to switch into Overeem, who eventually takes it out with just above half. After the battle, I teach the Dig TM to both Misha and Overeem, and it's time to hit up the Nimbasa City gym. Now, Elisa's team doesn't look too bad on paper, but according to all my theory crafting calcs, we're kind of doomed with their speed and aerial aces. One idea I had was an Eviolite, Flame Charge, Defense Curl, and Rollout combination with Khabib, but Rollout is apparently a contact move and could activate their static ability, which would ruin the whole plan. Eventually, an idea comes to mind. Guts. It took me literally an hour of battling Darumakas to get a burn on Overeem. It was absolutely brutal, but eventually it's time to challenge the gym leader Elisa, the electric trainer. She leads with one of her Emolgas, and I send out Overeem with his burn to raise his attack. She hits us with Aerial Ace, which doesn't do much with the Eviolite, and then superpowered Rock Throw KOs. Her second Emolga comes out and does the same thing, bringing us to 30 HP, and another Rock Throw does the job thanks to Guts. We're far too low now, and in comes Zebstrika, so I send in Khabib, who gets hit by Volt Switch. We are above half though, so I stay in, she hits us with Spark, and we survive on just 12 HP to hit it with Flame Charge. Now, even though we got the speed boost, we're still likely too slow, so I have to switch again, this time into Misha. Thankfully, as I thought, she just went for quick attacks since she was trying to pick off Khabib, but then she slams up with Spark and paralyzes as I went for Dig, which is a 2-turn attack, but miraculously we pull it off through both turns to KO. Oh man, that could have been a big mistake. I didn't factor in the astronomically low odds of her paralyzing us and Dig having to pass through 2 paralysis checks. Brick Break was definitely the better option there, but thankfully we weren't punished as we win our 4th badge. Definitely a learning moment there. On the next route, our rival Charon challenges us with a terrifying looking team now that he has Tranquil and Duat. I theory crafted for a long time and no safe path to victory was coming to mind until I realized our only option. He leads with Liepard and I lead with Khabib. He hits us with Fake Out on the first turn so we flinch, and then I use Flame Charge for the speed boost after he hit us with Torment, which prevents us from using the same move twice in a row. I then use Defense Curl as we get hit by Pursuit, and now I go for Rollout, but we miss, so I have to use Defense Curl again and then use Rollout again. Now, two things here. Torment doesn't actually affect Rollout, a good thing to know, and also using Defense Curl immediately before Rollout doubles its power, so Liepard goes down. In comes Duat, terrifying for us, but we now outspeed and Rollout brings it low before its Citrus Berry, but he just goes for Focus Energy, so another takes him down. From there, his Tranquil is outsped with it as well, and his final Pokemon is Pansear, which gets smashed with a super effective 960 base power Rollout. Unreal. Probably our only way of getting through that deathless. After Elisa uses her extensive network of connections to lower the drawbridge, we arrive in Driftveil City, the location of the next gym. Here we can pick up a couple great items. The Rocky Helmet to hurt opposing Pokemon who make contact, the Shell Bell now that we've seen 50 Pokemon, and the Expert Belt to increase the power of super effective moves even further. We take on the trainers in the cold storage too, during which Overeem learns Bulk Up, a fantastic way to raise his defense and attack. Oh jeez, okay, that's just inappropriate. What is wrong with you people? A storage freezer of all places? Really? As if that wasn't enough to make me question my life, this dude says, "Living is using time given to you. You cannot recall lost time. Don't forget that." It's time for the Driftveil Gym, a ground-type gym. The most trouble we faced was from Palpitoad spamming Muddy Water to lower our accuracy, but this is exactly why we kept Feint Attack on Misha, which can't miss. The fifth gym leader is up next, Mr. Cowboy himself, Clay. His team is always tough, but I feel like I have a good plan this time. He leads with a Croc Rock, which not only has Intimidate, but Swagger too, which he does use on Overeem immediately. Uh-oh. He would have outsped and done that on any of our Pokemon though, so really no choice in the matter. We do hit ourselves in confusion, and then he uses Torment on us, but we snap through on the next turn to get a Bulk Up off. He hits us with Swagger again though, which is super dangerous since confusion hits would do more damage now that our attack is raised, but we pull through to KO him with Low Kick. In comes Palpitoad next, and I can't use Low Kick due to Torment, but we break through confusion to KO him with Chip Away now that we've had 2 Swagger attack raises and Bulk Up. In comes Excadrill next, and amazingly it just uses Hone Claws, so one massive power Low Kick does the job. That could have gone really bad with confusion, but we had some luck on our side for that one. Bianca refuses to go away, so Overeem takes care of Herdier through Intimidate. Then she now has a Musharna with Psybeam, which is terrifying, but not only do we have Misha, who's a perfect immunity switch, but she can also hit hard with Feint Attack to take it out after a few defense curls and hyper potions, which did make it a long grind. The Moxie Boost then allows us to slam Panpour with Brick Break after a lucky Quick Claw activation, and the same goes for Servine with double power payback since she hit us first. A solid effort for Misha, probably saved our run to be honest. A little further on, and Overeem learns Rock Slide, a much better option than Rock Throw, and great hub coverage against flying types. After Clay opens up the Charged Stone Cave and we get threatened by some mysterious ninjas inside, I decide now was the time to trade Overeem away to somebody else, only to receive it back as a Trade Evolution Conkeldurr, which I'm allowing for this run since we have such limited encounters. Conkeldurr is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Gen 5, so this should be fun. Our Charged Stone battle with N is saved by Khabib with the Expert Belt, being able to smash Boldore low with Arm Thrust. Then I made a slight miscalculation with Flame Charge as it didn't KO, but I wanted to use it for the speed boost, but thankfully not too much punishment so we could blow through his entire team with Flame Charge from there since they're all Bug or Steel types. Can I just say, seeing a Pokemon professor get put on blast is a very strange phenomenon. With that, we arrive in Mistralton City where the next gym is, and a pretty scary one for us. After making it to the Celestial Tower Peak to visit Skyla, well, this is awfully romantic, isn't it? It's time for the Mistralton Gym, a flying type gym. The trainers themselves were scary but manageable, as Overeem with the Rocky Helmet and Rock Slide could put in some work, although it didn't help much against the abundance of special moves that they used, much to my surprise. The 6th gym leader is Skyla herself, and I am kicking myself as we have 2 Pokemon that are incredibly close to evolution, but we can't quite get there because of the level cap. A flying type team is definitely a big threat for us, but I think I've come up with our best plan. She leads with a Swoobat, and I send out Misha. She just went for Amnesia on the first turn, then Misha slams it with Payback for an instant KO even without the double boost. Amazing. In comes Unpheasant next, and with the Moxie boost, I'm like, She hits us with Air Slash, and thankfully no flinch so we can hit it hard with Payback, but surprisingly it doesn't KO. I'm forced to switch, so I go into Khabib, who gets hit to just above half thanks to the Eviolite, then another brings us to just 17 HP, and no flinch again, so Flame Charge KOs it and raises our speed. Her final Pokemon is Swanna though, so I cannot stay in comes Overeem. Bubble Beam still hits quite hard, but then she just goes for Aqua Ring so I can use Rock Slide, but she just barely survives on like 1 HP, Hyper Potions, but then we get a higher roll to take her out. Not bad at all. An Air Slash flinch would have made things quite difficult, but I think Overeem could have saved the day in that case anyway. During the battle, Khabib leveled up to 36, allowing him to evolve into a beastly Emboar. Not my favorite Pokemon design-wise, but I can't deny his power. Charon's Twisted Mountain battle was brutal, with Overeem handling both Unfezant and Simisear with super effective moves, but I had forgot that this battle took place in the rain, which boosted Duat's water moves, and we ended up at 22 HP because at the last second he switched to Water Pulse, so our Rocky Helmet couldn't take it out. So I had to switch into Misha to tank a rain boosted and Torrent boosted Aqua Jet and Water Pulse combo with the Eviolite, but we survived and didn't get confused to take it out with just 8 HP remaining. The other side of the mountain brings us to Icirrus City, quite a charming town, and in the Pokemon Center this old lady gives us the Brick Break TM, which is a huge win for both Khabib and Overeem, who have been operating with subpar fighting moves until now. You know when you find yourself surrounded by overly enthusiastic people? Yeah, this is that moment encapsulated. Just pure misery. The Icirrus Gym is an Ice-type gym, and man oh man were the trainers ever easy, as we have the perfect counters for pretty much everything. In the process, Misha evolves into a Scrafty, a Pokemon I haven't really used before, so I'm excited about this, as even Scraggy was a run saver so far. The 7th gym leader is Bryson, and I mean, come on. Misha with Moxie, then a switch into Emboar to deal better with Swagger, and who literally has 2 types super effective against his entire team, plus the speed boost from Flame Charge and the Charcoal item. Easiest badge ever. Outside the gym, we have such a cool moment as Charon has an existential crisis, then Bryson comes out and starts talking, and Charon and Bianca think that he's talking to them, but he's not quite making sense in this context, because it turns out he was talking to the invisible Shadow Triad, who only then reveal themselves. Such an underrated moment. Up next is Dragonspiral Tower, which you wouldn't think it, but weirdly enough is our next encounter location, as here we can find a Mienfoo, another Pokemon I don't think I've ever used. We catch it successfully and nickname it Pierre, and Pierre has a sassy plus special defense and minus speed nature, kinda bad, but it does have a regenerator to recover health when it's switched out, and Drain Punch too, perfect for the big root that we found. Oh, no, not me too! One epic scene with N and Reshiram later, and I realized something. We now have access to Route 18 south of New Vema Town, which actually has another encounter for us. This time, a throw, which I catch and nickname Belfour. Belfour has a relaxed nature, plus defense and minus speed, which is actually pretty good. We then have a lengthy philosophical discussion in the basement of the Relic Castle, after which it turns out that the stone that determines the fate of the universe was the same one that Lenore's husband said was a plain old stone that they kept in the museum for fun. Something fishy's going on here. Before the Two-Blind Bridge, we have a final battle with Bianca. I put Pierre first to take the Intimidate, and then switched into Misha, who got crit immediately before taking it down with 2 Brick Breaks on just 26 HP left. In comes Serperior next, and I have to switch, so I go into Khabib, but Serperior uses Coil. Oh no. Because of that, Khabib starts getting overpowered, especially since it's raining again, so I'm forced to switch into Overeem for the Rocky Helmet damage plus Brick Break, which we only managed since Leaf Blade didn't get a crit. Musharna was then able to be handled by Misha thankfully, since even though we're at low health, she has nothing to hurt us, and in comes her final Pokemon, Simipour, which is crazy fast and powerful, and it's in the rain. I switch into Throw though, who tanks Scald well, but no burn. The next one hits us to just 45 HP, and burns, so our double-powered and guts-boosted Revenge slams her for the win. Oh man, that was epic. With that, we arrive in Opelucid City, and I'm used to this being a modern city, but in white it's actually an old stone town, which is pretty cool. I also forgot that Iris is the gym leader in this version and not Drayden. Interesting. The 8th and final gym is upon us, the Opelucid City Gym, a Dragon-type gym, and Overeem is able to slug it out with all the trainers with the help of the Rocky Helmet, and with that, it's time for Iris. Here, the developers made a big mistake giving her Pokemon Dragon Tail as their only stab move, which has negative priority. Her team is still crazy strong though, and Icirrus has Dragon Dance, so I came in with our new bulky Pokemon Throw, who I had pre-burned to activate its Guts ability for more power. This, combined with Storm Throw, a 40 power move that's always a critical hit, as well as double power Revenge if we're hit first, allowed us to smash through her Fracture, and worked especially well when her Druddigon attempted to use Revenge too, but we're even slower. Too good. Her Haxorus then came out and thankfully just used Dragon Dance repeatedly so I could switch into Overeem to be safe since the burn was hurting us, and one final Brick Break did the job after I bulked up since I didn't want her to heal if we missed the KO. Oh, come on, Charon, I'm like one square away from our final encounter, could you just please? Charon's Unpheasant had both the Scope Lens and the Super Luck ability, so I knew a crit was coming, and I swear to God the only thing that we had that could tank it was Belfour, and thankfully no flinch, so Revenge does the job. I then had to switch into Overeem for Samurott, but Aqua Tail does just enough to bring us below half after our burn. Oops. That's the risk of using Guts. Our saving grace was that he used Encore as I switched into Misha, but a Payback and Crunch saved the day as we would have died to 2 attacks otherwise. Khabib then took down Liepard and Simisear came in. Pierre is far too weak, so I have to stay in. We survive Flame Burst on just 44 HP, hit him with Brick Break, and then get hit down to just 8 HP before taking him out. That was ridiculous, but that's the end of the rivals. And good riddance. Our final encounter is located here, but listen to this. It only occurs in rustling grass, which is rare enough, but is only a 5% chance in the rustling grass too. Needless to say, this took forever, but we finally found a sock. I caught it and nicknamed it Diaz, and he has a naughty plus attack and minus special defense nature. A long trek through Victory Road and a ton of preparation through fulfilling our EVs, getting any remaining items and TMs, etc., and we arrive at the famed Unova Pokemon League. Thankfully enough, Mienfoo actually evolves right at the level cap, level 50, giving us a Mienshao, a frail yet fast and powerful Pokemon. The first Elite Four member is Chantal, the Ghost-type trainer, and Misha is a savior here with the Expert Belt attached, although somehow her Configrigus survived Crunch, but just went for Shadow Ball instead of Will-O-Wisp. Whew. This did make her ability Mummy instead of Moxie, which would have been nice, but we're eventually able to take it down after her Hyper Potions. Her Golurk is then a one-shot, and then I figured we'd be okay against Chandelure, but Fire Blast got a high roll to bring us to 8 HP, thankfully no burn though, and Payback obliterated it. Her final Pokemon is Jellicent, but my calcs tell me that we outspeed and have a KO here, so we're able to smash it for the win. Go Misha, go! Up next is Grimsley, the Dark-type trainer, another trainer against whom we have a great type advantage, except this time with our whole team. He leads with his own Scrafty, so I lead with Pierre, whose Drain Punch brings it into the red, and then we get hit to just above half with Brick Break. After he full restores, we can hit him a few more times though, regenerating all our health in the process. Liepard is then only able to get a Fake Out off before getting KO'd as well, and Bisharp is 4 times weak to fighting, so that was an easy one. His final Pokemon is Crocodile though, which has Intimidate. We won't be able to KO, and Pierre is quite frail and can't take an Earthquake, so I instead pivot by using super effective U-turn into the only other Pokemon on our team I think can outspeed, Diaz. We get hit by Earthquake, and survive in the red on just 9 HP before outspeeding the next turn and miraculously taking him down with a massive close combat. Alright, that was too close for comfort. Talk about close combat.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Up next is Caitlin, the Psychic-type trainer, and just like Ghost, you'd imagine this type would be trouble for us, but Misha's typing comes in absolutely clutch, smashing Reuniclus and getting the Moxie boost, surviving an Air Slash from Sigilyph with a third or so with no flinch, and then a sweep through the rest of her team with Expert Belt boosted Crunch. The last Elite Four member is Marshall, a fellow fighting-type trainer, and back during the Grimsley battle, I realized I had accidentally used the Pokemon Center out of habit after I had pre-burned both Conkeldurr and Throw for the league, so my plan for him was shot. He leads with a Throw, and I lead with Overeem. I figure using Bulk Up is our second best bet as he hits us with Bulldoze. He then hits a Storm Throw before Brick Break just barely doesn't KO after Rocky Helmet, and knowing he'd full restore, I went for Bulk Up again before we get hit to below half and can finally KO him. In comes his own Conkeldurr and he hits us with Hammer Arm. We survive on just 15 HP, then one Brick Break KOs him. Mienshao is a big threat, and the only thing we have that can survive 2 consecutive jump kicks is Belfour, so I have no choice. We get hit twice down to just 20 HP, KO him with Revenge, but we are literally just less than 1 HP within range of going down to our own burn from the Flame Orb that we got from the Battle Subway. Absolutely brutal. First death on the board. From there, his Sock is able to be taken down by our very own with relative ease. It's time for the endgame as the League is surrounded by N's castle, and one of the most epic scenes in Pokemon history occurs as the gym leaders arrive to take on the sages, allowing us to escape to find N. Oh, whoops, wrong way. Sorry guys, At the top of the castle, Zekrom arrives to save the day, and I made sure to keep our dead Belfour in the party so it wasn't forced onto our team. With that, the technical champion battle is upon us, N, who leads with none other than a Reshiram of all things that has extra sensory too. This thing can obliterate almost anything on our team, but after a ton of theory crafting, I have a bit of a plan. I lead with Pierre, and I had attached a fighting gem so we can outspeed and hit it hard with Drain Punch to about half, before he hits us with Fusion Flare down to just 14 HP. Holy. From here, I can now U-turn to pivot and get a little damage, hoping he'll use extra sensory, so I send out Misha, and he does. But then, he uses Reflect. No, not good at all. I put the Expert Belt on Misha so we could get a Dig KO, but now the Reflect just barely saves him. Why couldn't he have attacked us? He heals now, and Dig is doing next to nothing. I'm forced to switch, so hoping he'll go for another Fusion Flare, I send out Khabib, but he goes for Hyper Beam, which smashes us to a third. But thankfully he has to recharge now, so a Brick Break takes him down. That was a brutal wrench in my plans. In comes Caracosta next, and I don't really have a choice. He goes for Aqua Jet and takes us down immediately. Rest in peace, dear starter. From here though, I can send out Pierre, who got recovery from Regenerator, smash him with Drain Punch for more recovery, and then we survive Waterfall on 38 HP, then can Drain Punch him again for the KO. Pierre is then able to survive Hyper Beam from Klinklang to take it out in 2 attacks, outspeeds Vanillux and takes him out in 1 super effective hit. The same then goes for Zoroark too, and in comes the big threat, Archeops, who I don't really know what to do about. My plan has pretty much been foiled at this point. I EV train Pierre in speed enough that I think we'll outspeed, but I don't think we can do quite enough damage. But we get a crit on Drain Punch to take it down instantly. Wow, that was unbelievable, but granted we did have terrible luck in the beginning of the battle. With N defeated, there is just one more test left for us, although we only have 4 more Pokemon remaining. Getsus. His team is also terrifying and has destroyed us in the past, but I cross my fingers and go for it. He leads with Cofagrigus, and we're forced to send out Pierre first unfortunately, but I switch into Misha hoping he'll use Psychic, but he used Toxic. Yikes, very unfortunate. Crunch does 2/3, then he hits us with Shadow Ball before literally stalling us out with Double Protect before we can finally take him down, but then we go down to Poison. Oof. I send out Overeem next, knowing he'll send out Bouffalante, and Head Smash brings us to just a third, but with Rocky Helmet and Recoil we can take him down with a Brick Break. In comes Hydreigon, and, well, there's nothing I can do, so Overeem goes down to Fire Blast. You couldn't have missed, huh? Here I send in Diaz knowing I need power, and we get hit by Dragon Pulse to a third before Close Combat annihilates him. Out comes Electros, and I can get one more Close Combat off before Acrobatics destroys Diaz. We have just 1 Pokemon left, Pierre, but we can outspeed and take down Electros from there with a Drain Punch. Then, in comes Seismitoad. I am super worried about this thing as Drain Punch only does less than half, then he sets up Rain Dance. Oh no. Amazingly we still outspeed though, but Drain Punch just barely doesn't KO, then he hits us with Rain Boosted Muddy Water, and we survive on just 41 HP. He full restores here, which actually gives us an opportunity to Drain Punch for recovery. Then I can hit him again to bring us up high on health, but we just barely don't KO again. Muddy Water hits us, and we survive on just 28 HP, then can outspeed and take him down with a final attack. Oh my god, no way. His final Pokemon is Bisharp, which is 4 times weak to Drain Punch, and thank god doesn't have Sucker Punch. So one final attack wins us the battle and the entire challenge. Unreal. Take that, Getsus. This challenge ended up being an amazingly fun time with powerful Pokemon but limited encounters balancing the challenge out, and with some Pokemon that I've never really used before making it particularly fun. I hope you had fun with the run too, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as it really does help a lot and grows our community. A huge thanks to my YouTube members and patrons who make these videos possible. If you'd like to support and get your name up here, the links are also down below. If you enjoy, drop a like down below to help the video out and leave a comment letting me know what kind of run we should do next, and I'll see you guys for our next challenge video.